used to flip over to the sports section of the newspaper for a little escapism, but these days, even the world of pucks and pigskins has become beholden to mind-numbing political correctness. The latest example, the National Basketball Association has announced it's stripping Charlotte, North Carolina of the 2017 NBA All-Star Game. Oh my, what egregious thing did the Hornets do to get stung so badly by the NBA? Well, the Hornets didn't do anything. Rather, Charlotte is incurring the league's wrath due to a piece of state legislation the NBA finds abhorrent, namely North Carolina's so-called bathroom bill. The law states people must use the bathroom which corresponds to the gender on their birth certificate. Now, the NBA is the latest entity to declare the bill trans-phobic and therefore is now economically penalizing the state. The loss of the All-Star Game will cost Charlotte about $100 million in tourism dollars, all of which has prompted Governor Pat McCrory to slam the NBA's move as being politically correct BS. And you know what? The governor is right. Hey, let's not kid the kidders, which is to say, as a transsexual, you can take hormone pills and surgically slice and dice your genitalia and wear clothing associated with the opposite sex. But at the end of the day, you are a man masquerading as a woman or vice versa, period. Gender bending, window dressing does not trump biology. Now, I know this is a highly unfashionable opinion to utter amongst the chattering classes in this day and age of Bruce call me Caitlyn Jenner, but apparently we're so concerned about not hurting people's feelings these days that we can't speak the truth as we reconstruct the very fabric of society. That's wrong, and it's intellectually dishonest, too. But a profound question arises. Just how committed is the NBA to transgender rights? For example, in addition to its all-male league, the NBA also operates the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association. So here's a question that the NBA probably hasn't even thought about. What is the NBA's policy if a male professional basketball player were to change his sex? Would the she-male be allowed to play in the WNBA against real women? I reached out to the NBA's head office in New York, but they wouldn't touch this question. After all, could you imagine if LeBron James became Laverne James? That would completely upset the balance of power in the WNBA, and yet the NBA is supposedly committed to trans rights. But here's the crux of the matter. If you buy into phony baloney transgender rights, you effectively turn your back on genuine women's rights, which is to say, allowing a player who was born male to compete against real females would be a miscarriage of gender justice. This isn't transphobia, folks. It's biology 101. Compared to natural women, men have bigger bones, more testosterone, larger lung capacity, and greater aggression assertiveness. This is why, with the exception of equestrian events and auto racing, men and women compete in separate divisions. It's about maintaining a level playing field. And guess what, folks? A precedent was already set right here in Canada some 15 years ago. Our gender-bending cautionary tale focuses on former competitive mountain biker Michel Dumaresque. You see, Michel was actually born Michael. Now, can you possibly guess what happened when he became a she? Well, Michael Michel went on to slaughter the real women cyclists. And even though several real female cyclists were justifiably outraged, the Canadian Cycling Association threw these women under the transgender bus. The CCA was just too terrified to challenge Michael Michel in court, and the CCA didn't want to be seen as being, transphobic. And so it is that North Carolina is being blacklisted for doing the right thing. In the meantime, we're left to ponder if the NBA, like the Canadian Cycling Association, will throw its female WNBA athletes under the bus should, say, a transgender player quit the LA Lakers to play for the LA Sparks. If and when that happens, it will be perversely fascinating to see how the NBA will dribble its way out of this self-inflicted, politically correct quagmire. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.